right, team. Welcome to the next fitness thing. This is Alexis, and I am coming to you live right now. I'm in California. You're here for the next fitness show. I am so glad you're here. We have an amazing show for you today. Now, I say we, I'm flying solo today, and we're in for a great time. I would love to know if you are here with me live. So, down in the live chat, please let me know if you're here and say hey. Also, if you are here, whether you're live or if you're watching this as a recording, please push the like button on this video. It really, really helps. And I appreciate your support by you doing that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about balancing your masculine and your feminine energy. We also have a mid-show stretch break. We have a move of the week. We also have some announcements, and we have a really fun topic for toward the end of the show. So let's go ahead and get started. Look at all these people who are here live in the chat. All right, we've got Megan saying happy Friday. Mom's in here saying, I found it. Jennifer says happy Friday as well. All right, this is awesome. Okay, so I'm so glad you're here. Now, if you are new to the Next Fitness Thing, I encourage you to check us out. So this is a show that is of the Next Fitness Thing. This is the Next Fitness Show. And you can go to thenextfitnessthing.com to check us out. You can also find us on Facebook. And we have a free Facebook group with is all lowercase letters, The Next Fitness Thing. You can find us on Instagram and all the places, The Next Fitness Thing. The only place that the handle is different is on TikTok. There's no the at the beginning. It's just Next Fitness Thing on TikTok. All right, Donna D's in here saying hello. Hello. All right. So without further ado, let's get into our topic of the day. So today, what we're talking about is vitality in balance, masculine and feminine energy. Now, I would love to know what this actually means to you. What does it mean to balance your masculine and feminine energy? You're welcome to drop that in the chat if you have a sense of it, whether it's a few words or more than that. Kelly's in the chat saying hi. Hi, Kelly. Great to see you here. And this is something that I actually have been very conscious of for a little while now, actually. And it's something that I'm really happy to have a conversation with you all about, because this is something that is really been present for me in my own body, in my own life, in my relationship to work and health and spirituality and everything. So I'm really glad to have this conversation with you. So the first thing I want to say about this is not about gender at all. We're not talking about men and women here at all. That is not what this is. We're talking about masculine and feminine energy. And what that means, you might hear of this in a different way. You might be familiar with this more through the perspective of yin and yang. And here I can bring the yin yang symbol up. You might be thinking of it more like this. Now, when we think of it like this, it really helps to take the loaded words of masculine and feminine out, right? I feel like when we say masculine and feminine, often it feels like we get this energy of like battle of the sexes energy, and really feeling into, oh, well, I like the feminine energy better because I'm a woman, and I like the masculine because I'm a man. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about yin and yang, really. That's really where we are with this. Nice. Lisa B's in here saying that her AI reminded you to watch this. Cool. That's great. I'm glad I have almost the same name as that thing too. Daniela also says hello. Great. That's great. Okay. So when it comes to this, you will notice that these two energies, this yin yang symbol, is actually showing us a way of being. It is a way of vitality, and it is the vitality of everything. So it's the vitality of your body, it's the vitality of any living organism, and it's actually the vitality of any organization, any business, any government, anything. In order for it to thrive, has to be balanced in masculine and feminine energy. So in this yin yang symbol, you can see this, that they're sort of woven together. It's not like a strict line down the middle of everything masculine's over here and everything feminine's over here. They kind of fit in with one another. And you'll also notice that inside, so the masculine is the white and the feminine is the dark. You'll notice that inside the masculine, there's a little bit of feminine. And inside the feminine, there's a little bit of masculine. And the way that I actually think of this is there's actually another yin yang symbol inside each one of these. So that can keep fractaling down smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so what are we actually talking about here? Now, what kind of things are masculine energy? If you want to volunteer things that you think are masculine energy, please drop that in the chat. I would love to have this as a conversation. So what kind of things do you associate with masculine energy? For me, masculine energy means structure. It means protection. Masculine energy is associated with your left brain. So your left brain is more of like logic. It's spreadsheets. It's balancing the books. It's having a very clear plan and following very clear plan with discipline. I know I would kind of make a face when I do this, but it's not good or bad. It's just, it is what it is. Masculine energy is basically, it's also, a lot of people associate it with the sun, and it also could be associated with action. So it's more outward energy. And because it has to do with your left brain controls the right side of your body. So we could say that your right side of your body is your masculine side. So if you're right-handed, you may be a little bit dominant in your masculine side. Okay, so then let's talk about feminine energy. What is feminine energy? Feminine energy tends to be more receptive. Feminine energy is more fluid. It's more creative. Feminine energy is more nurturing. Feminine energy is more intuitive. It's restorative. Feminine energy is associated with the moon rather than the sun, and also the shadow. So it's kind of more of like the rest from the sun, like darkness. And I don't mean darkness in like the negative way. I mean darkness in kind of more of like the time to sleep and restore kind of way. Feminine energy is associated with your right brain. So if you're someone who learned about this from a more intellectual perspective, you might relate a little bit more to this as left versus right brain. Right brain tends to be more creative. It tends to be more of the playful, right? And your right brain controls your left side of your body. So with that, your left side of your body is often referred to as your feminine side. And people who are left-handed may be more dominant in their feminine energy. And I say may because it's not like one size fits all and it's always true, but it's possible. The other thing I'm just going to say with that is you could see yourself, because it's your left brain controlling the right side of your body and the right brain controlling your left side of your body. You could kind of see yourself as this yin yang symbol where the dot is over here in the left brain controlling the right side. So here, I'll put that symbol up again so you can kind of see it. So this would be your left brain controlling the right side of your body. And this would be your right brain controlling the left side of your body. So this could be seen as you right here. Now, why am I bringing this up? It seems a little bit esoteric. It might seem a little bit like, what is this even? This is a fitness show. Why are we talking about this? So the reason I'm bringing this up is because this balance between masculine and feminine is present in everything. And this is a key to vitality. So if you're kind of trying to figure out how to bring more vitality, then looking at your own body, your own life, your habits, your environment, and really looking at, is this balanced in masculine and feminine, is a way to see if you're actually really balanced in your vitality. So here's an example. Let's think about, this is a fitness show. So let's talk about your fitness journey. What are the things that are masculine energy that are on your fitness journey? To be honest with you, things that are masculine energy on the fitness journey is a lot of the very traditional ways of thinking about fitness. It is strength training is masculine energy. It is having a plan and like, look, here's all of the steps that we're going to take to get you fit. It goes from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4 to step 5. That's a masculine approach. It is also this energy of, so that's structure, also the discipline to continue to show up and to show up even when you don't feel your best and to continue to show up. That's a masculine approach. Also, just this idea of staying consistent, all of this masculine approach, pushing your limits, masculine, setting goals and meeting them, masculine, measurable outcomes, like having a goal that is smart is a masculine way of looking at it. All of this drive to do, competition, masculine. So all of these things are masculine energy. Again, I'm not talking about gender. I'm just talking about yin and yang here. It's yang. Yang is the masculine. All these things I'm mentioning are the yang. So if you, on your fitness journey, I honestly think the traditional way of looking at this is to think of fitness as a masculine thing, period. And fitness is masculine. And that you may need to balance that with something else that's feminine. A lot of people would think of that as something like yoga or dance or something like that. But what is feminine on a fitness journey? What does feminine even look like? Femininity on a fitness journey looks like trusting your intuition. It looks like listening to your body and actually being receptive to, this is what my body is up for today. Being feminine on a fitness journey also looks like rest, recovery. It looks like stretching, foam rolling. Yin yoga. Yin yoga is explicitly naming this, right? Yin is feminine. So yin yoga is feminine yoga, where it is restorative, it's slow, it's restful. Other things that are feminine on a fitness journey are creativity. So that part looks like, whether it's the creativity of dance, it might be the creativity of, feeling into, what do I feel like doing today? It also looks like joyful movement, moving just for the pleasure of it without an outcome in mind. Just the joy of moving is a feminine approach. So that might look like walking. It's whatever's joyful for you. It could look like stretching. It could look like dancing. Joy in a feminine approach with fitness looks like celebrating just doing it at all without needing to win anything. It looks like allowing. So in order for us to be in balance and in vitality, the key here is really this idea of heros gamos. It's like an inner marriage. And what we're really talking about here is balancing masculine and feminine energy. So I'm not here to say that one way of doing it's wrong and the other way of doing it's right. What I'm really saying is that balancing these two approaches is the key to this actually working and being successful. So if you have overemphasis on one or overemphasis on the other, then you might find yourself feeling out of balance in some way. So if you're overemphasis on the masculine, you might feel, and here's the thing, it might just not be on your fitness journey. It might be in your life, right? So if you're way over yanging, you're way on the masculine side, you might be someone who is like super scheduled. Everything you do is super scheduled. It might be that you are always very structured. It might be that you plan everything. It might be that you're always trying to achieve something. It might be that you're always trying to win. It might be that you are just like trying to force it all the time. And if you're on the feminine side and you're out of balance in your life on the feminine side, it might look like you're just so loosey goosey that nothing ever really tends to happen. It might look like that you're really trying to, you'd like for this thing to happen, but you can't really have the discipline or the structure to create the container to make it so that you move in that direction. It might look like kind of not following through with any commitments that you make. It might look like really just overseeing signs and symbols, like you're in your intuition so far, you're like, the lid's off my water bottle. It's a sign I'm not supposed to do my workout. Right. So it could be a way of, it could be that you're out of balance on the feminine. Now, in our culture, honestly, I'm not going to say most people, but I would say in general, our culture is pushing us toward the masculine in general. That most of us associate success, like the culture will associate success with all the masculine qualities in general. There's some exceptions. So most of the time when I'm like seeing if somebody's out of balance in their masculine and feminine, it tends to often, even for women, be over too far on the masculine, too far on the masculine. And we have Megan in the chat right now saying, this is Alexis's way to get us to all do more strength classes. I love it. And yeah, so doing this business, like the way that we've been doing the next fitness thing, is way in the feminine approach. We've been actually really in the feminine approach. And this, in a certain way, has been like a reaction to having, like, I've had like a, almost 20-year career in the fitness industry where it's like yang, 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 yang all the time. And I can feel how it's like, you guys, come on. And so I've been wanting to do it differently and wanting to do it more in this feminine way without calling it feminine, just calling it a more restorative, receptive way, calling it a way of listening to your body, that kind of thing. And the balance is the key. The balance is the key. So when you're looking at your vitality in general in your life, you may find that because your life is so far in the yang, that doing the feminine approach in your fitness journey is what's going to bring you balance. And it may be that in your life, you're really in the yin and you're just like really just far into your feminine. You're so far into your feminine that, and I've seen this actually quite a bit, where there's someone is not very yang in their life, where all of a sudden they get into strength training and it makes them really come into their power in a certain way. So you may want to look from a larger picture at your life and see what would serve you on your fitness journey. And then, just like I said, how this microcosm and macrocosm fractals down, 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 we can look at just your fitness journey. Is your fitness journey more in the yang or more in the yin? Now, if all you want to take is dance class and yoga, you're way in the yin. And if all you want to do is strength training all the time, you're way in the yang. If you're here because you want to compete and win the race, and that's really what you're here for, and you want to just win, 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 yang. And if it's really just more always about self-expression or about a healing journey, you may be in the yin. Did I say that right? Anyway, so what I'm asking you to do is look at yourself, your life, and your health and wellness journey, and to notice, are you balanced in the yin and the yang? Just notice it for yourself. And if you have something that you want to share on that, you're welcome to put that in the chat. I'd love to see it. Now, the sweet spot here is to be balanced, right? So that looks like it's great to have structure on the masculine side. And within that structure, the masculine kind of holds the container. And then within that, there's some masculine things, there's some feminine things. So if the masculine's the protector, and the masculine is the one that's creating structure. And when you have the structure, it lets you play all inside the structure because you have the structure. It's like, building a fence around your backyard so that you can run and jump and play inside and not worry about getting hit by a car. So it's great. It's really, really helpful to have a structure, to have some kind of discipline, and then to also keep being creative with it and to try new things. That's all in the feminine. And to make sure that you are really doing your recovery work, meaning sleeping, stretching, foam rolling, dancing, not taking it too seriously. So, yeah, I could go on and on and on and on and on about this, but I feel like that's maybe a good introduction for today. How does it feel to receive this? Is this in your awareness? Is this a new concept for you, or is this something that you were already holding? Now, the reason I bring this up, I worked for a fitness company a decade ago or something, and I was like, hey, you guys, we're way in the yang. And I did this whole presentation at a conference about how this company was way in the yang and how, being too far in the yang is a recipe for being out of balance and vitality. And that if we want to thrive for a long time, we need to get more into the yin. And they kind of, all these guys are like, I don't really think they heard me. And they kind of thought I'm like, this like woo-woo wacko or something. And within a year or so, all the numbers started going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. So they hired consultants to help them to get all their numbers back up and make it so they're more profitable again. And what did the consultants do? We need to get more creative. We need to make sure we have women's clothing. It was like all of the things that I was saying with the yin and the yang situation. So whether this is in business or your body or anything, the yin and the yang balance is key. And I don't care what language that you use around this. You can use it as yin and yang. You can call it masculine and feminine. You can, whatever you want to call it. There's other words too. RD Sherman says, and now they promote yoga and Pilates. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Now they promote yoga and Pilates. Megan says, and I will absolutely start using the phrase, I'm way in the yang more. Right. I mean, I also like over yanging. Dude, you are so over yanging right now. The other thing I'll just say around this, if just for the fun part, there's a bunch of fun parts to me, but one of the fun parts here for me is to use this idea as an oracle so that if something happens to the right side of your body, you can see it as this, you're wounded on your masculine side, where if you sprain your right ankle, then your masculine side is now having an issue with its ability to move forward. Where if you sprain your ankle on the left side, then maybe your feminine side is injured in its ability to move forward. And what does that mean in your life? So Anyway, thank you for listening to me on this. And I love talking about this. If this is something that you find fascinating or that it's kind of pinged you in some way that feels like fun to talk about, please, I would love to. Send me a message anytime. You can put it in the chat. You can put it in the comments. You can send me a message. For those of you who are in the Next Fitness Thing community, send me a message on Discord. I'd love to continue this conversation. Sharon says that I think I go through phases. Some months yin classes and others more yang focused. Yeah, that is totally natural. It's not meant to be static, right? It kind of is in flux, and that's totally great. And even especially for women, as you go through your menstrual cycle, especially if you still have a menstrual cycle, typically, as your hormone levels are rising, you might find that you're like, way more yang, especially maybe around your ovulation time. You might find that you're way more yin around the time that you're menstruating. So that may be something that you can start noticing as well. Megan says my phraseology has grown with today's show. Nice. I'm honored. That's great. That makes me so happy. Kelly says I sprained my right ankle. Masculine. Interesting. Yes, exactly. Mom says, and they used to use your ideas and took all the credit. So masculine. Well, yeah, it happens. Women are organized, productive, creative, and find me a total masculine with these abilities. Again, it's not about gender. It's not. So there can be women who are way over yanging, and there can be men who are way over yin. And I mean, the biggest thing I would say with all of that is just that I personally think it's really important that we are, as a culture, valuing the traits of both the masculine and the feminine, and really the yin and the yang, and that we're really actually honoring what it looks like to be in integrity in both ways. I could go a lot deeper on this about like what shadow masculine looks like and shadow feminine and that, but we'll just keep it here for today. Okay. So with that, I chose a mid-show stretch break that is really good way of showcasing a balance between masculine and feminine. So here we go. This mid-show stretch break today is Warrior 2. Now, Warrior 2, honestly, a lot of yoga is very balanced in the masculine and the feminine. Why? Because it's about strength and flexibility at the same time. It's like you need to have the mobility to be able to get into the position, that's feminine, and you need to be able to have the strength to hold it in that position. So Warrior 2 is really, really great example here. The masculine piece here is the structure. So the alignment part, that is the masculine part of this pose. So in Warrior 2, you want to have the knee directly over the ankle-ish. The ish part is the feminine. But you do want the knee to be mostly over the ankle. And you have heel to arch alignment. When we say heel to arch alignment, what we're talking about here is that in Warrior 2, your feet are essentially on a balance beam. So your lead foot, we'll call this her left foot. Her left foot is pointing to the front of her mat, and her right foot is directly perpendicular, pointing to the side of the mat. They are perpendicular to each other, and the heel of the left foot lines up, oops, pushed a button, to the arch of the right foot. That is what you want, is the heel lining up to the arch. So that alignment is the masculine piece. The other thing going on here, the arms are strong. They are parallel to the floor. And you want your hips to be as square to the side of the mat as you can. Now, in order to execute this pose well, you are going to need to have open hips. Opening the hips and really getting down and low in here, that's the feminine. Also, having the ankle mobility to ground your pinky toe on the back foot, that is totally in the feminine right here too. And having the shoulder mobility, all of those pieces, these are the feminine pieces that are allowing for the strength to be expressed. So they need to work together. They work together. And you'll really find that to be the case left and right. So when people are saying, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible enough, they're saying, I'm over yanging. I'm just so far my yang, I can't do the yin. And the best thing to do is to go into the yin. So stretch. The other thing I'll just say with that is building strength into a more flexible position is very helpful. So warrior two, part of what makes this a warrior is that you're kind of fighting for it. You're really the whole time, you're not just hanging out in this position. You're constantly grounding through your pinky toe. You're constantly maybe trying to get a little bit lower so that your thigh can be parallel to the earth. You're looking to square your hips toward the side of the mat, even though they're never going to be perfectly square to the side of the mat, but you're just directing the energy in that direction. So you're kind of fighting for the alignment in this posture all the time. You're never just chilling here. So I believe that's why, in my view, that's why this is a warrior, is you're strong and you're focused and you have to be flexible. Okay, so that's our move of the week. If you've done one side, I encourage you to switch to the second side. And for those of you who do this seated, we can do a seated version of this. So just picture there's a chair right here. You can bring one leg out to the side. You can bring the other foot to the floor. You can reach your arms open. And you can totally do this from a seated posture. Okay, and that brings us to our move of the week. Now, I intentionally chose a move of the week that is a good example of both masculine and feminine energy happening simultaneously. So this move is an overhead squat. Now, what is an overhead squat? What an overhead squat actually is you reach your arms up over your head and you keep them up over your head while you squat. So your arms are up, your feet are hip distance apart, hips go down and back and stand all the way up at the top. Overhead squat tends to be used. It doesn't have to be weighted. I am showing weighted in this video, but it doesn't have to be weighted. You can do with no weight, just arms up over your head. Fitness trainers often are using the overhead squat as a diagnostic tool. And of course, we're not allowed to diagnose you with anything, but this is an assessment tool. So yes, you can use overhead squat as an exercise. It's a fantastic exercise for shoulders, for core, for legs, for glutes. And the whole thing going on here is that if you do an overhead squat for me, I'm going to be able to see what's going on with your body. I'm going to be able to see, do you have the strength and do you have the flexibility? This is what the overhead squat is about. You have to have both. So you need to have the shoulder mobility to reach your arms all the way up over your head. You have to have the hip mobility to get really, really freaking low. If you're doing this, I mean, full expression. You also really need to have ankle mobility. And the ankle mobility is probably the biggest limiting factor for most people. To get this low, your ankles need to let your knees go forward so that it counterbalances your butt going back. So this is the expression of the feminine that I'm talking about. Ankle mobility, hip mobility, shoulder mobility. And at the same time, you have strength of your core, strength of your shoulders, strength of your legs and glutes. It's both. So overhead squat is an awesome exercise. We honestly don't do this very much in class, and we could certainly do this more. So if you are curious, first of all, if you ever start working out with a personal trainer, it is very likely that in the first session, they are going to ask you for an overhead squat so that they can see what's happening. Because by looking at your overhead squat, I will know, shoulders fall forward. Chest leans forward. Knees cave inward or outward. Only can go this far down. Whatever it is that I can see in the overhead squat. And then I'm going to set intentions around what we should work on based on what I see in the overhead squat. It's also an awesome exercise. So if you have strong feelings about the overhead squat, I'd love to hear it. Have you done this exercise? I love this one in the gym. It's really fun. I do like it with the barbell the best. You can certainly do it with dumbbells too, but with the barbell, it kind of makes you put it directly over your head. But I will say, if you cannot reach your arms all the way up directly over the head, do not weight this exercise. You need to be able to, your arms need to be able to go straight up, or at least, 45-degree angle that she's doing right here. Cool. That's our move of the week. All right, moving on. We got announcements. So one thing I want to mention in here is that our Dog Days Safari is coming up. It's on the 31st. So it's not this coming Sunday, although we do have something fun this coming Sunday. We actually have a bunch of fun things this coming Sunday. But this is the following Sunday. This is August 31st. It's at 7 a.m. Pacific. Oh my gosh, I have to wake up at 7 a.m. Jennifer says looks powerful. The overhead squat, heck yeah, it does. And mom says, and hard. Yeah, overhead squat. Well, if it's body weight, it's not too bad. Okay, so Dog Day Safari. Melissa, our team leader, Melissa, is leading this. Again, Melissa's been posting in our Facebook group about her process of recovering from surgery, and I really encourage you to send Melissa some love. Melissa is just being such a warrior of on her recovery process right now, and she intentionally set this date to do this Dog Day Safari because she is a person who rescues dogs. She has a whole pack of dogs at her house, of rescue dogs, and so this is like a passion project for her. She's a really good person to lead the safari this year. So send Melissa some love and cheer her on. And of course, I selfishly want her to get better so she can lead the safari, but I just want Melissa to get better. And I love that she kind of set this goal as a tool to kind of give her something to work toward to make it so that help her to be ready for this too. RD Shambi says it's early, but it's good for avoiding the summer heat with the dogs. Yes, that's a big reason we put it at the early time. So that way, if you're taking your dog out for a safari, that it's not that hot yet, hopefully. Today I'm in Southern California. It's 104 degrees here right now. We just did super sweat sesh outside. P.S. Shout out to everybody who did super sweat sesh with me. I'm taking a drink of water just thinking of super sweat sesh right now. It was definitely out of my comfort zone and it was hot. So speaking of that, that was part of the Thrive in 30 challenge. The Thrive in 30 challenge is free. So if anyone's here in this in the show and you're not already signed up for the Thrive in 30 challenge, definitely do it. We are already on day 18, but we're going to leave this up. So this challenge is free. If you want to do a 30-day challenge, it's the good thing I've been hearing as far as the feedback from everyone that they're getting on this challenge that I've been hearing about it is that it's getting us out of our comfort zone to take classes that we might not normally take. So encouraging taking strength classes, taking Pilates classes, taking bar classes, taking a bunch of classes that you might not normally take. And these classes are all in the replay library. So we have been putting the class that is, if you started this on the day we announced it, you could take the class live every day. But if the class you want is not live on the day you want, it is in the replay library. If you're struggling to find a class in the replay library, you should tell me that. I did already search the replay library to make sure every class that is on this challenge is already in the replay library before the challenge ever started. So if you can't find a class that's in Thrive in 30, you can send me a message and tell me that. I'll help you find it because it might just be somewhere you're not looking, something like that. Jennifer says she loves this challenge. Yes, part of this challenge. P.S. Jennifer has been sending in all of the awesomeness with sending in videos and photos along the way because you get extra points on the scorecard in this challenge if you post on social yourself doing your favorite move from the class or something about it. And you also get extra points by commenting on YouTube. So just saying, you're here on YouTube, might as well do it. But just saying, this challenge has been really fun, great for getting you out of your comfort zone. And there's still over a week left in it. If you haven't joined it, it's free. jump in there. nextfitnessthing.com/thrive in30. And those of you who are in this challenge, keep posting. We love reposting your stuff. And check out our Instagram because you're going to see Jennifer totally highlighted. I think I got like 3 posts from her today. So you'll probably see her in our story today. It'll be awesome. Cool. Okay, what else we got? Okay, schedule adjustments. So I've been really paying attention to the attendance of the classes that have been going on because in August we are switching it up in a lot of ways. Now, this week coming up, I'm taking out the 2 and 2:30 class on Monday and Wednesday because it was not very well attended. Wait, I said it the opposite. I'm taking it out on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm leaving it on Monday and Wednesday. So on Monday, Casey teaches at that time, and on Wednesday, Anna teaches at that time. Those classes are staying. But on Tuesday and Thursday, there wasn't very much attendance in those classes, and so I'm letting those go. But there will be something coming up the following week that will be exciting for you. So just I'm not asking you to hold your breath or anything, but I'm telling you that for right now, we're making some fine tuning. The Tuesday, Thursday, 2 and 2:30 are no more starting next week, but something else will come. Also, just so you know, this coming Sunday, so the 24th on Sunday, Kelly is leading a yoga stretch class at 8 a.m. Pacific. So if you were looking for something on Sunday morning, we typically don't have anything Sunday morning. You can now take stretch class with Kelly this Sunday morning. We're going to try that. So go, and if that's a time that you would like in general, that'd be a good thing to show up to. What else we got going on? Mom says the challenges challenge both your yin and yang. That's true. It's a little bit of everything. Kelly says, I'd love to post maybe another challenge. Yes, I know. Kelly is taking a little social media cleanse right now. So it's okay. We love your posts when we get them. With that, the other thing is join the Discord. Now, I will post in the newsletter on Sunday a new link to join the Discord. The link apparently expired after 7 days. So if you need the link to join the Discord, you want to join it right now, I will put a link to the Discord in the show notes from this video. If you have me as a friend on Facebook or something, you can message me and I'll send you a link. But otherwise, in the newsletter on Sunday, I'll make sure there's a new link to join the Discord because it expires after 7 days. Cool. The Discord's really fun. It's been really fun already. And there's a lot more we're planning to do with the Discord too. So jump in there, share. I love Donna D's sharing your healing process along with that. Oh, geez. It was great to see the photos and understand what's going on. Also, I like Jenny's in there, already Sharon B is in there. Kelly's in there. I'm just looking at who's here in the chat. I don't remember if Megan's in there. Daniela is for sure. So anyway, it's definitely a great chance for us to be able to hang out in there. There's even a channel in the Discord called the Teammates Lounge. That's a voice channel. So if you wanted to go in there, you could, with your teammates, decide that you want to go in there and kind of like chat and literally out loud chat. And you could join the Teammates Lounge and go chat in there. If you want to try it, feel free, jump in there, check it out. Okay. Just a reminder that the renewal for founding members is coming up, and there will be a Patreon launch coming up as well. And the other thing coming up this Sunday is book club. So this Sunday in the morning, Kelly's leading stretch class. In the afternoon, Casey is leading book club. The book club book is A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Poisons. I've been listening to it on Spotify. So if you are trying to find this book, you can find the audiobook and you can find the book a lot of places. And we have links on this, the nextfitnessthing.com/book club. We have the link right there to take you to what's it called? Bookshop.org, I think. That is how to find it at your local bookstore. We also have the link to Libby so that you can find it at your local library, or you can find the audiobook there. Or if you want to do the audiobook, I know this audiobook is on Audible and it's also on Spotify. So if you have a Spotify membership, it's included in Spotify Premium to listen to this book. That's how I've been listening to it. So if you have not read this book yet, you have a couple more days, get on it. and join Casey for the book club on Sunday. And of course, you're welcome at the book club, even if you didn't read the book, but there will be spoilers, just so you know. Jennifer says, I love, love, love book club. Nice. We love having you in book club. That's great. And then there also is yin yoga on Sunday. So if you have been listening to this whole thing about masculine and feminine, you're thinking, I'm over yanging, then getting into the book club on Sunday for yin yoga, get it after book club on Sunday, going to yin yoga is a good answer. All right, cool. And what else we got? I think that might be our last announcement. 1 second, let me check. Oh yeah. Okay. So, with that, we have one more little topic for the end of the show today. So, this topic today is something that's very present in my world right now, which is food preservation. Now, if anyone who's here is an expert in food preservation, I would honestly love to have some kind of food forum on this where we could all learn how to do this. Right? The reason I made this the tip this week is because it's like the height of harvest season right now. So I know a lot of you have a garden. If you have a garden, I want to know what you're growing. Drop that in the chat right now. So if you have a garden and it's growing like prolifically, you have tons of zucchini, you have tons of tomatoes, whatever you have a lot of, it may be top of mind for you right now to be preserving the food that you've been growing, or maybe you're foraging, and to preserve it so that it lasts beyond just right now. So there are many ways of food preservation. So I'm just presencing this. And if you are masterful in some way of food preservation, let us know. We want to learn. I want to learn. So of course, freezing is one answer, right? You can definitely, and it doesn't have to be something you grow. It could be something that maybe is in season right now and you want to buy it in bulk and preserve it. Or maybe you want to even make a recipe and preserve it. Like you want to make your own spaghetti sauce and you want to preserve your spaghetti sauce. Or you want to make some kind of soup and you want to preserve that so it's easy for you to prepare when you're ready to eat it, right? Donna Diaz, tomatoes and herbs and peppers. An eggplant. Nice. Kelly has so many tomatoes. I'm jealous. I wish we had so many tomatoes right now. Mom says, I want to learn. Share your experience. I know we've been like playing with this. We really want to learn this. Kelly says pesto from all of my basil to freeze. I love that. I love pesto. So good. Donna D made peach jam yesterday. Nice. Okay. So yes, jam is one way of preserving, especially for fruit, right? I never realized it's funny because I never even thought of jam as being like a way of preserving fruit. I just kind of thought of it as something you would make that you'd like to eat. I guess that's why they call it preserves. So freezing is an option. Canning is an option. Canning, when I'm learning about canning. So one thing we've been canning is we have been canning, well, we've been fermenting and pickling, which is another option, and then canning it. Right. So with that, I've been learning that there's a whole thing with pH around canning that you have to make sure that you have the chemistry right before you preserve it, and then it can be shelf stable. I mean, that's so cool. So canning is good for tomatoes, maybe peaches, jams. That's what Donnie's mentioning, pickles, sauces. I feel like canning is an art form, and I'm just starting toe in the water with that. Jennifer says spaghetti sauce. Nice. What do you do with it? Do you can it or do you freeze it? I've been freezing spaghetti sauce because I don't have my canning together for spaghetti sauce so far. Another thing that works for food preservation though is dehydrating. Is anybody into that? My house, when I got my house, it came with a dehydrator. So I've been playing with that. I've been buying bananas in bulk when they're about to go bad. And then I've been drying bananas. I've also been drying herbs. And I realized that I don't even have to use a food dehydrator to dry herbs. I just hang them in the window and they dry. Good. Mom says always afraid of botulism. Right, exactly. That's why you want to make sure that you really know what you're doing with the canning, for sure. Donna D cans meat. Oh, wow. Okay, we need a master class with Donna D so we can learn how to can meat. Another thing you can do is to infuse, like, so you can infuse oil or infuse it in vinegar, that kind of thing. We have been using our herbs and infusing them in oil and then making things like balm. So the herbs are not necessarily being used for food, but they're being used so that way it's like a medicinal salve that you could use on your skin, that kind of thing. Um, Anybody else have any other food preservation techniques that you're really good at? I totally want to know about it. Kelly says that you recommend a book called Pudding Food by Ruth Hetzberg. All right, we should check that out. Sharon says that your dad used to dry fruit. Nice. All right. So I feel like this is a huge topic that we could really go and learn more about. And I would love to learn more about this topic. So I'm kind of putting a pin in this and I'm just saying that this is the time of year where a lot of things are growing. So if you are intending to preserve food, the thing about preserving food that I really appreciate, not only is it a way of having food on hand in case, and it's saves money and it saves resources and all these things like that. But the other thing about it from the health perspective is if you are making your own sauce or your own jam or your own whatever and preserving it, you know what's in it. You know what's in it. And when you buy those things at the store, not necessarily, right? Like the jam that you're going to buy at the store is probably going to have a bunch of things that are going to change the texture. That's going to have, I mean, of course, it's going to have sugar either way, but it's going to have a bunch of things that might be preservatives that could be a chemical and you're not sure how that works in your body. Where if you made that jam yourself, you know exactly what's in there, you know exactly what went into growing the food if you grew it yourself too. So to me, that's a huge reason to be doing food preservation. And I'm really looking to go deeper in that. And I'd love to learn more. So cool. I guess that brings us to the end of the show. This was really fun, team. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening to my everything I have to say about masculine and feminine. If you want to go deeper on that, that's my jam. And speaking of jam, if you wanted to do more about food preservation, let's talk about that in the Discord. And that's a great place for us to be able to share techniques and recipes and all the things. And let's get in there and talk more about that. Maybe you can even go live in Discord, like on video and, have like video chat. That'd be really fun. Okay, that's it. And with that, I love you, team. Have a great, great weekend. Have a great week. I will be back here next week. And yeah, see you soon. All right. Bye. Oh, I don't have the music. Okay, I do. Let's dance and pretend we have the music. Well, I find the music. We got it. All right, I got it for else. Here we go.